Hello, everyone, and welcome to podcast Me, Mom, and Dad. Welcome, happy holidays. 2021 is about to end, and we're moving on, trying to still get out of this pandemic. My name is Tia. For any new listeners, I'll give you a brief history of how our podcast started. Me, Mom, and Dad is, of course, me, my mom, and dad. We started this podcast by sharing information, fruitful, great information that we learned about my dad's Parkinson's. My dad had Parkinson's. He lived a fruitful life with Parkinson's. We did have our ups and downs, but for the most part, he lived a fruitful life. Sad to say that I lost my dad in April. It wasn't from Parkinson's, but he was 87, and we can miss him dearly. And I shouldn't say it's sad. My dad was a minister, and he always told us, don't grieve for me. Be happy because I'm going home to glory. So I forget to not say sad all the time because he had a peaceful passing, and we still share information with the Parkinson's community. And we also, with this podcast, a few years now, we share fun and loved ones talking on this podcast. We share recipes, and my mom and I and my family we're doing pretty good. We're very blessed. This holiday season, we miss my dad, but I feel him watching over us and looking down on us. So happy holidays and Merry Christmas, everyone. Speaking of family, on this podcast, I will have my sister from another mother, Dr. Bertice Berry. She is truly my sister. We've been sisters since elementary school on into high school. We sang together, still singing together, and she spent Thanksgiving with us, her and her family, and I have her on this podcast. So you will hear Dr. Bertice Berry on this podcast. I will share recipe since it is the holidays. I will share homemade cranberry sauce, which I do Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it's beautiful. It tastes wonderful. So I'll share that with you guys, and uh, homemade sloppy joes, since you a lot of folks are home with the kids this holiday season. Your homemade sloppy joes are is so good. It's awesome. We hope everyone is staying safe with this pandemic. My mom and I, and um, we've been boosted and vaccinated, which is keeping us safe. Before my dad passed, he got vaccinated. My mom and I are vaccinated, and we got our booster. And we pray that this pandemic get behind us, please. But we're very grateful and very thankful. Why don't I just bring on my dear friend, Dr. Bertice Berry? I call her Chica. And Thanksgiving, I press record, and she said a few words on our podcast, and we're thankful. So here is Dr. Bertice Berry. Hello, we are here with my dear sister, Dr. Bertice Berry, a special treat for our beautiful podcast, Me, Mom, and Dad. Say hello to the listeners.
Hello, listeners.
What would you like to say about your papa?
Oh my gosh, I think that there are so many things that I can say, but the main thing that needs to be said is he was somebody who stepped up and stepped in ways that other people would not do or didn't think to do, or just yes, you're always given an opportunity to do the right thing.
Yes.
And sometimes people think, well, I've got my own stuff, or that's not my problem, or that's not something I need to deal with.
Yes.
And they just keep on going and they deal with their own stuff, and good luck with yours. He wasn't that person. He was the person who said, if it touches my community, it touches me.
Yes.
And he stepped up at a time when my family, urban renewal, they decided to tear down our house. We were 3 buses away from the school, and I had about 6 months left to graduate. And he said, you're going to be staying with us, because we would have had to move across town. And he said, no, you're staying with us. And I stayed with you all the last part of high school.
Yeah.
But was there every day. Every day. Every single day of high school, elementary school, high school.
You were there anyway.
I was there anyway. But at this point, I spent the night, and it became a part of, I was family.
Yeah.
I was always family.
Yeah.
But this time I was family living in the family house.
He like said it to make it.
He said it out loud. And he said it in a way where I didn't have to feel any shame or any, what's the word I'm looking for? Any, not guilt, but embarrassment.
Yeah.
And I think that that's an important part also. When you lift someone up, make sure you don't put them down while you're doing it.
Right. Yeah. Well, I love you, Chica. Always my sister. Growing up together. Thank you for talking about Pop. He will always be our guardian angel.
Oh, yeah.
And how we're always sharing his love. And you were a witness to him fighting Parkinsons. And he was a trooper. And he was always working out, exercise. And you are a witness to that. And we thank you for being on our podcast, Dr. Bertice Berry. Next time we will have the knucklehead over there on the sofa, Antonio Raphael, who's on one of our other previous podcasts. Love you. Thank you, Chica. You heard folks in the background. That was Thanksgiving. We were all vaccinated, and so we had Bertice's family and some of my dear best friends in the house. And you heard my mom in the background having a wonderful time at Thanksgiving. Thank Dr. Bertice Berry, my Chica. And you heard her talking about my dad fighting Parkinson's. I've always shared with the Parkinson's community. My dad, most days people did not even believe he had Parkinson's because he walked and he was energetic. The key was exercise. I will shout it from the rooftops on every podcast. It is the key. Find a way to start moving. He went to the gym several times a week, and we walked in the park lots of times, my dad and I. He stayed active, and he rode the bike, he did the treadmill, he did those machines, and that's the key to fighting Parkinson's. It really is the key, my friends. So if you're sitting, get up. I tell my lazy self that. Get up, start moving those legs, and that's the key to fighting Parkinson's. Also, I always repeat on the podcast to the Parkinson's community is allow the medication. The Parkinson's medication is mostly corticodopa levodopa. We call it the yellow pill. Let it absorb on an empty stomach. My mom would give my dad his first pill at 5 a.m. in the morning on an empty stomach, and he wouldn't eat for breakfast till after 2 hours. So then he would eat, and he'd wait 2 hours for his food to digest for the second Parkinson's pill. That is the key that we learned. In the beginning we thought, oh, just take the pill, before he'd eat, and it didn't work. We thought he was going to be in a wheelchair. He couldn't walk it. The corticodopa levodopa, the yellow pill, wants to be alone on an empty stomach. That's the key, my friends. And always sharing different things that we learned about. Not too much protein. We start his day with less protein, his first meal, and let that medication absorb. Exercise is the key, dear friends. Please do it on an empty stomach. And you can live a fruitful life. We witnessed my dad doing it. How about I share for the holidays? First, homemade cranberry sauce. So you want to go get that bag of cranberries that you see in the market. Although, yeah, we're talking about sometimes the some things on the shelves are empty going through this pandemic, and so that bag early. Uh, we did find some this Thanksgiving, but it was tricky. Some days we go in and they'd be gone, and then we go back, and things I do notice are getting better with things on the shelf. So get that bag. The recipe is on the back of most bags. The cranberry recipe. You take a cup of water, pour in your saucepan, and turn your oven on, and pour your one bag of cranberries in that water, and let it boil up, the water and the cranberries. You will hear, once the water gets hot and it starts boiling up, you will hear the cranberries start to pop. And you'll literally hear pop, 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 pop. The cranberries will start to pop, and you'll start letting them pop. You take a spoon once they start popping and stir it a bit, and they'll keep popping. You'll see them all popping, popping, popping. When you see the majority of them popping, pour. The recipe on the bag says 1 cup of sugar. Depending on you, you can do the 1 cup. I'll be very honest. We like more sugar. So, really, I'm going like 2.5 cups. Okay, let's not lie. 3 cups of sugar is what my friends and family want to take jars home with. So, if you like the 1 cup, you don't want it so sweet, then follow the 1 cup recipe. But you want it jacked up sweet. It's so good with 2.5 to 3 cups of sugar. Once the cranberries start popping, you will pour the sugar in and stir while boiling. Stir, 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 stir. Keep stirring for a good 15 more minutes, stirring, and the mixture will start to get a bit thick. And sometimes you might not see it getting thick, but keep stirring for another 15 minutes. Turn the fire down, the oven down, your stovetop down a bit. You don't want it like really high because it'll just burn, but kind of a little less than medium high while you are stirring the heat. Like 15 more minutes. And take it off, and we let it sit, and it does get thicker. It's nice. It's so beautiful. Oh, and while you were stirring, you want to put a teaspoon of vanilla in the mixture. And you hear folks putting some orange peelings on the arms. It has escaped my memory. Putting some orange flavor in there. And we don't do that, but people like to do that. Some orange juice or some orange, mincing some of the peeling of the orange in there. And people like to do that. But we just straight up cranberries with sugar and vanilla. So good. And my mom asked me to heat it up some more because she thought it didn't get thick enough after it cooled down. And I did put it back on the heat. If you want it thicker, just be careful not to burn. But it's nice. Very nice. Beautiful. Now, homemade sloppy joes. Here's your ingredients. 1.5 pounds of extra lean ground beef. Half onion diced you will need. 2 cloves of garlic minced. 1 green pepper. 1 cup of water. 3/4 cup of ketchup. 1 dash of Worcestershire sauce. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, 1.5 teaspoons salt or to taste, half teaspoon of ground pepper, 1 cup of water, 1 pinch cayenne pepper to taste. You place your ground beef in a large skillet. Place your ground beef and your onion in a large skillet. Turn heat to medium and cook. Stir until the beef is brown, my friends, and form small crumbles about 10 minutes. It'll take. Stir in your garlic and your green pepper. I'll be honest, I don't put the green pepper in there. My mom likes green pepper, so sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Stir in your garlic and your green pepper. Cook and stir until softened. It's about 2 or 3 minutes. Add 1 cup of water and stir, scraping the pan to dissolve any brown flavor bits. That's the good stuff from the bottom of the skillet. Mix in your ketchup and your Worcestershire sauce and your brown sugar and your Dijon mustard, your salt and pepper. Add 1 more cup of water and return the mixture to a simmer. Reduce your heat to low and simmer and stir it occasionally until the liquid has evaporated and the mixture is getting thick. That takes about 40 minutes. Season with salt and pepper and cayenne pepper to taste. So good, my friends. You won't do the cayenne again. So good. Awesome. Hope everybody is keeping the faith. My dad was a reverend, and we share faith on this podcast too. As I mentioned before, my dad had a peaceful passing. Actually, my mom, Bertice, and I, in April when he passed, COVID looked like it was going to be going down, lower the cases, and the three of us were allowed to be in his hospital room, which is unheard of these days with COVID. We were so blessed to be with him, and we held him and sang to him for hours, all of his favorite hymns, and my dad passed down to us. Keeping the faith and getting out the Lord's way, he'd always say. Get out the Lord's way, Tia. And I'd be like, Dad, but what's going on? I can't get out the Lord's way. Yes, get out the Lord's way. And that's what we do. My dad passed down to me, my brother and sister, and other siblings, such as Bertice. He passed down keeping the faith and trusting in the Lord no matter what happens. So I feel my dad looking down on us, even though we miss him these holidays. And I hope that all of you are keeping the faith and trusting in God no matter what. This is the season that we celebrate Jesus' birth, right? Happy holidays to everyone. Please remember to subscribe to this podcast, my friends, and keep supporting us. When you are listening to this podcast, up the top there, you see that Wi-Fi looking icon there, rainbow Wi-Fi looking. You click that, and that's where you can subscribe. Yes. I was thinking, I was going to share the pancake recipe. I always like to share that holiday times, but I cannot reach it quickly. Well, I'll try to share it the next time. Remember, exercise, my Parkinson's friends. It is the key. It is the key. And it's the key even if you're not battling Parkinson's. It's the key to staying younger and our bodies doing better. It is the key. So let's do it. I'm talking to myself too. my mom had knee surgery, and now her other knee is trying to be the devil. And so she went to physical therapy and lifting our legs and doing these physical uh, activities is helping her other knee to be better, not as painful. So I'm talking to myself too with this exercise. It truly was a miracle watching my dad go to the gym, and Parkinson's has a tendency to stiffen your joints and muscles, and those exercises really was the key to him pushing through that. Also, Parkinson's is is a disease of the what's going on in the brain, and so it can bring on it could bring on some sadness and depression, and being around loved ones really lifted his spirits and our spirits too. So love one another, my friends, and allow loved ones and family to bring you joy. That is what really kept depression away from my dad. We made an effort to make sure family was always around him, and that's how we started sharing these recipes, because these cooking brings family and friends together. So enjoy this holiday season, my friends, and thank you for listening to our podcast. And we thank you. Please enjoy the music. Don't forget to subscribe. Enjoy the music, my friends. Peace out, everyone. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Hello, hello, hello,